We are here on the 7th floor. Welcome back to the 315 Pulse. Beautiful day in One Lincoln Center, and today we have a really special guest to talk about office leasing in One Lincoln Center and One Park Place and Syracuse overall. Our main man, Eric Devendorf.
I appreciate you having me on.
He is a legend in Syracuse basketball. Some people talk about Carmelo Anthony like he is the man, but Eric Devendorf really did more for SU basketball than Carmelo did. So I'm just going to hand the mic over to Eric just to tell us a little bit about what he's doing now and give us a little update on where he's been since the 6 overtime victory in 2009.
March 12th, 2009, into the 13th.
Yeah, how time flies. Well, I appreciate the introduction. I don't know if I've done more than Melo with the basketball side of things. Maybe the community side of things, but Melo's done a lot in the community as well. But yeah, lots happened since then. Since the 6 overtime game, I guess we'll start there. I went overseas and played 7 years in various different countries. Like we were talking about before, Turkey, Israel, Greece, New Zealand, Australia. I was in
Ukraine on there too, right?
Yep, Ukraine, Lithuania, Latvia. I was in Italy for a little bit, so I got to travel the world and get paid to do it. It's a pretty lucky guy to be able to do that.
So if you play basketball in Italy, what city were you in?
So I was in, you know what, I just had lunch the other day, and the server was Italian, and I said the name wrong, completely wrong. I forgot what he said. It was Chetty. But he said something totally different. So we're gonna roll with that. So it's about an hour outside of Rome. Beautiful city. I was literally the house where I was staying was in the middle of a vineyard. So I had some pretty cool experiences being overseas in those countries. Learned a lot. Played a lot of basketball. Made some pretty good money. Made some good connections. Then after that. My last year playing ball was in New Zealand, and I was actually in my house in New Zealand, and I was texting Coach Boeheim, and I was like, Coach, I think, I'm ready to stop playing, and I want to come back and try to get on staff. And a big part of me stop playing was my girls. They were young at the time, but I could still be playing today. Honestly, my body feels good, but I would have missed everything with the girls. They're 17 and 15 now. We talked about I just had a son who's 2 months. So that was in my best interest to come back and see them grow up.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I was able to come back, hop on staff at Syracuse for a few years, being a player development. Learned a lot from Coach just from being in the conference room with him in the meetings.
So what year were you? When you came back to SU? What years were you there?
So that was 2016, and when I came back, I left early, Syracuse, to go play ball, and I still had a year left to finish up at school. So I was able to come back in 2016, finish up my degree with one of my best friends, Mookie Jones, who also used to play at Syracuse, and during that time. I was on staff as well, because to be on staff, you had to have your degree. So, I was able to do both at the same time. I was 28, 29 years old, back on campus. Backpack. I was a student. I was in, backpack. Some do it online. I was going to class, walking to class, feeling like a student at SU again. So I did that for 2 years, which was great.
Did you guys make the Final Four of either of those years?
So the furthest we got was the Elite Eight. We lost to Duke. That was in Omaha. I don't know if you remember that one. The Elite Eight in Omaha lost to Duke, which they had Jabari Parker. They had a talented team. Duke was always.
And who was on the SU team? Any pros on there?
I want to say that was with Tyus Battle.
Okay.
Maybe Tyler Lydon.
Yep.
Who else we had? I can't even remember who else it was. But Tyus Battle was the main guy on the team. He was Mr. Clutch at the time. So 2 years doing that, and then the following year I went to be assistant coach at Detroit Mercy back home in Michigan under Mike Davis. I did that for a year. Great experience. And then came back here to Syracuse and I started my own company, ED23 Hoops, which is individual instruction, camps, clinics, And I was literally traveling all around the Northeast, doing camps and clinics, doing high school practices, running them, and I still do that to this day. And then I ended up starting my nonprofit, which is ED23 Foundation. I've always done a lot of stuff in the community, whether it be back home in Michigan or here in Syracuse. I used to just get a group of guys together, a group of friends, and we go buy turkeys, hand them out on the west side of the rescue mission. I was friends with Carolyn Hendrickson, who at that time was running the rescue mission. She always let us hand out turkeys in the back there. We do coat drives, shoe drives. Another really good guy, Latavius Murray, who's from Syracuse. We partner up. We gave away like 1,000 pair of shoes. So I've always had a heart for giving back. And, one day somebody's like, you might as well just start a nonprofit, and do what you're doing now, but scale it and then try to have more of an impact here in the community. So we're in our third year here with the ED23 Foundation. It's continuing to grow. We got a lot of good people involved, a great board. We continue to add to that board each year and get great people involved. So.
Yeah, well, congratulations. It's so good to have the athletes come back and contribute to our Central New York community. And I think you're one of the stars that, really brightens up the area. And it's a great thing that you're doing. So tell us a little bit about ED23, the foundation. Like, what kind of programs are you focused on? Because I know a lot of it has to do with youth sports and helping underprivileged children and trying to get them a little more motivated. Tell us a little bit about that program. Yeah,
so the ED23 Hoops is the for-profit. That's the camps, the clinics, individual instruction, all that. And then the ED23 Foundation is the nonprofit, and they work together a lot. The mission for the ED23 Foundation is to help underprivileged youth here in the community. Obviously we want to try to help out everybody, but I think really specifically helping out the youth and trying to catch them early. Because, I mean, as being in Syracuse for a long time, it's a lot of need here, especially for the youth. I think I've read a while ago that Syracuse has the highest child poverty rate in the country. Wow. Which is amazing if you really look at it. Been living here since 2005, and yes, I've been in the city, but to really hear those numbers is staggering. And kids, we all have kids, and these kids their only meals are coming from the school. So we wanted to try to start a foundation where we could really help these kids and provide opportunities, mentorship, resources, because it's not just music and sports. Look, I played college basketball. I was lucky enough to go on and play professionally, but the percentages to be able to do that are less than 1%.
Right.
And we want these kids to strive and dream and be able to try to achieve those things. But the reality is most of them won't. So the sport engages them and gets them in, right? Basketball gets them in here, gets them able to, talk about things. But the other stuff that we're trying to provide, whether it be some type of trade, carpentry, electrician, barbershop, financial literacy, tech, there's so many different avenues that we could go down. And I think that's more realistic for most of these kids. So the basketball engages them and gets them in. And then we're able to kind of show them all these different opportunities that they have. And just truth be told, a lot of these kids don't even know that stuff is going on. They have no clue that these type of opportunities are available to them. So that's what we're trying to. I think the ultimate vision for the foundation is to have a building and then provide these opportunities in a classroom setting. So, we have the foundation, we have the people in place to where we could provide these resources and this mentorship and these opportunities. And now it's about, getting the board together. And then in our third year, now we're able to get grant funding from the state, which is huge, that would allow us to purchase a building. And so we're just getting everything in place. It's a lot of little details that come into it. It's not hey, here goes $250,000.
Mentorship is so important, and you just grabbed onto such a key thing for these young children. That to have somebody like you to look up to, like the rest of the community does, but to give them that extra little bit of help to get them going in our community and be successful. It's a wonderful story, and we'll all continue to watch, and I'm sure you'll grow this thing to as much as as you're successful in your basketball career, I'm sure you'll be successful in your mentorship program with ED23 Foundation. So that's just wonderful news.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's more important to me than the basketball side of things, because I think honestly it's going to leave a much bigger impact on
Right.
the community than the basketball side.
So I got one question for you, a little bit away, but maybe some of these children know. Did I read you were actually a McDonald's All-American?
Yep.
I was.
That is pretty cool. How much out of what are there, like 15, 20 All-Americans?
So to be a McDonald's All-American is top 25 in the country.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. So I had my choice of college wherever I wanted to go. I could have went. So I actually committed to Michigan State my sophomore year in high school. And then, funny story, I was at a game at Michigan State, 2003 national championship year for Syracuse.
Yep,
and
yep.
who were they playing? They were playing Syracuse at Michigan State, right? So it was Melo, G-Mac, Hakeem, all those guys. And I just saw the pace that they played with, that Coach Boeheim really gave them freedom to go ahead and make mistakes and really just play the game. And that was kind of how I love to play, free flowing. You just make decisions off the cuff, and you just, reading and reacting. That's what the game is now. So I saw that, and I was at the game with my AU coach at the time, and I told him, hey, I want to check out Syracuse and see what's going on here. So he made a call to the Syracuse office, and the next week they flew down to Detroit. We had practice in Detroit at Detroit Denby High School, where I remember specifically. And at that practice,
so did Jim Boeheim come too?
Oh yeah,
he was there.
It was Coach Boeheim and Troy Weaver at the time. Was the assistant coach.
Wow.
So yeah, it was Texas, UConn, Arizona, all type of. I mean, the team I played on, everybody was going high level division.
Oh, well, you had that good a high school team.
Yeah, well, this was AAU.
Oh, your AAU team.
This is AAU team. So I mean, back then it was only a few. Now it's
right.
They're all over.
Yeah.
So it's oversaturated. But yeah, so after that practice, coach came up to me and offered me a scholarship right there, and I took it. And that's how it happened. That's how I got to Syracuse and never looked back.
Let's see if anybody remembers. Does anybody know though? Is Eric left-handed or right-handed, or are you just both?
I write left-handed, but I shoot right-handed.
There we go.
I'm really good with my left too. I can do both. I'm ambidextrous.
Yeah, ambidextrous, man. That is like the greatest thing for athletes, and because I've watched you play, and I'm like, is he right-handed or is he left-handed?
Yeah.
And so you're right lefty, but you shoot righty.
But I shoot righty, but I drive left more so, I guess.
What do you play golf?
I'm terrible at golf.
I know you're terrible. Do you golf lefty or righty?
Oh, right.
Right. Okay.
Right. I need to get into golf though. I run my own, or the foundation has a golf tournament. We just had last Monday. It was our second one we had, which is great. But I want to get out there and
it's a tough game.
Start hitting a few balls. Yeah, I'm a competitive dude, so I got to get out there and I want to be at least able to hit the ball off the tee. Right? If I'm gonna play in my own tournament. So.
Jenny, do you play golf?
Amazing. I'm terrible. Actually, it's funny. My husband and son are leaving Thursday to go to North Carolina to play for like the whole weekend.
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing, huh? It's the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, they're talking like 20-something holes in one day. I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, okay, I'll see you guys when you come back. Yep.
It's a long day.
So tell me a little bit about the type of individuals who's left a big impression on you with the students and the younger children that you've had at your programs. I think that I saw or read something about one individual who I believe was blind. Was there an individual that was blind that you helped? One of the students and.
Yeah, so we actually did an event for CAVI.
Okay.
Which helps blind people get jobs and have jobs in the community, and they started in Utica, but they worked their way down to Syracuse. So I did an event with them, and we didn't have anybody come to a camp, but I did do an event with CAVI who works with blind people. So, but I mean, there's been a lot of people that left a big impression on me. I think for the most part, it's obviously the kids.
It's got to feel good to be able to do something wonderful for the children.
So. When we do the camps, we talked about, these kids dreaming to play college basketball, professional basketball. So when we do the camps and the clinics, I talk about that, but I keep it real with them. You know, I try to be realistic as I can, let them know the percentages and the sacrifices that you're going to have to make if you even want to give yourselves a chance. Because even if you do all this work and everything that's involved, still might not happen, right?
Yep.
But you want to at least give yourself a chance to see, you know, if it can work out. But in the meantime, you know, when you're doing all the sacrifice, putting in all that work, there's a lot of different life skills that you're going to learn that you're going to need, you know, for whatever space that you're trying to go into.
For your future, no matter
Right.
what. Yeah.
Communication, working through adversity, teamwork, consistency, dedication. You know, all those things come into play when you're trying to do anything and be successful in whatever it is. So I think seeing these kids year after year continually coming back to camp, that's showing me that, you know, we're doing something right. We're saying the right things. We're saying the right words, not only for the kids, but for the parents to see that and sign their kids up and put them back in that. And then through the foundation, when we do, you know, we do back to school events. This past August, we just did, we gave out 400 backpacks with school supplies, haircuts, food. So just seeing these kids come and from the neighborhoods that they come from, and it's a lot of need, you know, like we talked about in the community. I don't care what side it is, you know, east, west, north, south, whatever it is, there's a lot of need. So I think when you just see these kids come through, put a smile on their face, something as little as a backpack with school supplies, changes their whole view on things, just gives them a little bit more confidence. Or a kid who might not start school off with a haircut, right? Just having a fresh haircut gives them a little bit more confidence, a new pair of shoes.
Yep.
You know, we partner with the Boys and Girls Club a lot, you know, give scholarships out for our camps, and we'll give shoes, and, you know, that could change a kid's life, honestly. And you know, for me growing up, you know, I wasn't rich or anything like that, but I didn't have to deal with that stuff, with that type of stuff. I knew people who lived down the street who did, but I didn't. My parents made sure I had everything that I needed. They did everything they had to do to where, you know, that stuff was covered. So I think a lot of stuff that we take for granted, a warm meal, a new pair of shoes, a coat in the wintertime, hat, gloves, scarf, stuff that is just like we don't even think twice about because it's easy to get. 75% of these kids, they're struggling to get it.
Yeah.
You know, so when we're able to help kids out and provide those things, I mean, it touches your heart, and then you just want to continue to do it and continue to make it bigger and do it on a larger scale, and that's why we started this foundation, so, you know, we can impact more and more people.
Yep. Hey, how can we help? How can Carrie and I help you succeed with helping these children?
Well, I people ask all the time. Obviously, you know, funds is great, but besides that, we tell people to come and be involved in what we're doing. So November 22nd, we're having a turkey drive, and we do it right down on the south side, where Martin Luther King Boulevard, right down the street from the elementary school. Come hand out turkeys. You know, we hand out 600 turkey dinners. We've been doing this for the past 7-8 years. And I just like to see people see what we're doing. So many times I think people just write a check and they don't even know where the money's going to, which is great. Obviously, nonprofits need funding.
Right.
They do.
It's a part of it. It's just what it is. But come and see where your money's going towards. You know, see it firsthand. Go ahead, hand out a turkey dinner to a family in need, and I tell people that all the time. And when you do that, you're going to see where your money's going towards, and also I think a big part, what I love is the connections that people make.
Yeah.
Going there, you see other people that you don't know who have the same vision, and they want to help, because a lot of people want to help, they just don't know how.
Right.
I hear that all the time. How can I help? Well, come here and
It makes your heart feel so good.
Yeah.
You can count my son and I there. We'll be there for that drive. Absolutely.
And then that just helps like spread the word what we got going on. And I think when people see what we have going on, they see the vision and they want to help.
Yeah.
So tell me, Eric, what's your website? Give us.
So website is ED23Foundation.org. You can go on there. You can see all the events we do, and you can see our board members and everything that we have going on. And I think, again, just spreading the word and kind of letting people know what we have going on. You know, people are going to want to be involved and figure a way how to.
Yeah, you got to get to the website because that's where everybody's on the internet now. And
Yeah.
do you have
Word of mouth.
do you have a Instagram, Snapchat? You got sites going? Or?
Yeah, so I try to limit the social media. I don't want to have, there's 90 different social media things now, right? So, but we do have Instagram. It's ED23 Foundation, and then
All right,
my
beautiful,
other one is
beautiful.
ED23 Hoops. So yeah, it has all the information on there where you could go and check it out.
Yeah, 'cause that's how you get the word out there. And
Yep.
we'll remember November, what'd you say, 22nd?
November 22nd. Yep. So I'll be posting and we'll be putting flyers out, letting people know. So
Yeah, we'll definitely help. One of your board members is moving into One Park Place this week.
yeah.
Billy Sullivan.
Yes, that's my guy. Billy, so I've known Billy since my days at Syracuse. He's helped me out with a few things.
Yeah.
Some parking tickets. That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So I got close with Billy when I was at Syracuse, and we kept that relationship up until now, obviously. And he's been on my board, and he's been another person who's just always there to help support and whatever I do. And he's a great guy. Does a lot in the community. Billy's he's super busy.
Yeah.
It seems like he's got something going all the time. So for him to be able to take time and support the foundation, super thankful for him.
That's awesome. So we had talked last summer, we talked about Over the Edge. Remember, we were talking about doing the Over the Edge. If you're still interested in it, we're bringing it in spring. So it's a great opportunity to raise money and actually be able to have some of the children go down.
Yeah,
rappel.
last year it just didn't work out. We just had so much going on, and but yeah, we'll definitely look into that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring my director Xavier Mann so he could. I know you talked to him.
We talked to him. Yep.
Which is another great guy. He does so many. I feel like he has 17 jobs, but he does so much for the foundation and help build it and getting people involved. So yeah, we'll definitely take a look at it for sure.
Definitely. Speaking of busy and 17 jobs, you also are a broadcast analysis for ESPN and ACC Network.
You're right.
You are busy.
Yeah. So you know what, and it's something that just kind of fell in my lap. It's funny because Syracuse is the number one communications school in the country,
Yeah.
right? So they're known for that stuff. And how it happened is they asked me to do radio for the Cuse games a while back and just do some pre and post game stuff, and then that kind of turned into, hey, do you want to do radio for the games, and which turned into, hey, do you want to do TV for the game? And I was able to go in Newhouse and kind of see all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, it's a lot. There's 20 people in there running around, and there's so much stuff that goes into it that people don't even know. Well, you're on the headset, you got 2 people in your ear telling you while you're talking. So, so I didn't go to school for any of that stuff. I obviously have a passion for the game, and I know the game, and I could talk the game. So, it turned into an opportunity where my good friend Corey Alexander, who works for ESPN, his flight got canceled. And I was actually at my daughter's track meet at OCC 10 o'clock at night, and Matt Park, who was the voice of the Orange, he called me and he's like, hey, Corey's flight got canceled. Can you do the game tomorrow at noon? ESPN 2 game. It was Syracuse, Miami. I don't know if you remember when Copeland hit the 3 game winner.
Yeah.
So that was my really first call on ESPN, and went pretty well, I guess, because they gave me more.
That's awesome.
So from then,
So now you're going to give Sean McDonough a run for his money.
No, Sean's another good friend.
You just got to shave your head and you guys can be brothers.
Yeah, don't let him hear that. But he's a great guy. But
He's a great announcer. He's one of my favorites.
One of the all-time greats. I mean, Syracuse, you can go down the list. Marv Elbert, Bob Costas, Mike Tirico.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky enough I'm able to reach out to those guys and ask for advice, because again, I didn't go to school for any of this stuff. It's just learning on the go and having a passion for the game. So yeah, it's turned into where this year I'm going to be under contract, and we're going to do anywhere from 25 to 40 games all around the country for college basketball. So it's it's turned into more of a passion for me, doing the broadcasting, talking the game, and doing all of that. So I'm pretty lucky and grateful for it.
That's amazing. So how many people do you have that are working with the foundation to mentor the children?
As far as like partnerships?
Partnerships.
Oh, we have tons of partnerships. I mean, with the Boys and Girls Club, we do
That's great.
Catholic Charities, Syracuse, and just a ton of local businesses. And really all the funding has been coming from grassroots, me going out, reaching out to people. And how fun is it to go ask for people for money all the time, right? It's not the the best thing or the funnest thing to do, but when you share the vision and what's going on, people feel that, people can see that. And I think for me, the biggest thing is I'm just authentic and I'm genuine about it. I'm a straight shooter. I'm not gonna.
No pun intended.
Yeah, right. No pun intended. I'm not gonna, BS you with anything, right?
Yeah.
It's just, this is what we're trying to do. This is the vision. We'd love for you to help and be a part of it in some way. If it's not money, can you spread the word? Can you come to the events and see what we got going on? So I never really go and flat out ask people for money. I tell them what we have going on, and I'm gonna let them make that decision. I mean, everyone knows in the back of their head, what
The
they need
compassion
funding.
and
Yeah,
empathy.
So it's just that we have partnerships all throughout the community, and I think the biggest thing is, it's a local foundation. We want to partner with local companies and local organizations to help give back. That's the only way to grow it and to help more. You have to have a community involved, and I've been preaching that from the beginning. No one can do it by themselves. I have tons of people helping me, tons of people helping grow it, and we're just going to continue to try to do that and get people involved.
I have one more question for you. How old were you when you first picked up a basketball?
7.
7.
Yeah, 7. I started playing when I was 7, and I'll keep it short, but I that's all I did every single day. I'd wake up before school. I'd do it at lunch. I'd go after school. If I had practice, I'd go after practice. And I'd have the ball like this everywhere I was going. So I didn't go to like any of those dances. I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't go to prom. I was in the gym shooting. But again, that's what it takes to get to that level. And I tell the kids today, like, listen, it's a different level of sacrifice.
Right.
I really sacrificed a regular childhood. On the weekends I was traveling to basketball tournaments, to basketball camps, and it's something that I wanted to do. I had that passion I was lucky early on that I figured out, hey, this is what I want to do. 7 years old.
It's a great talent, and then again for you to push it as far as you did.
Yeah.
I remember I used to watch Brandon Trish because he grew up in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
He was the same way.
Yeah.
He was out there. He probably started when he was 5 because he came from the Trish family.
Right.
You probably played with Brandon over the years, but same thing.
Brandon's a good friend. Yeah.
He'd be in the gym shooting on weekends. I'd see him just banging down 3-pointers left and right.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that you were the same way.
That's what it takes. It's you have to be different, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, nowadays especially, you're not really seeing that. There's talent, there's skill, but you have to you have to combine that with the hard work and the dedication and the consistency. Everyone can do it for weeks or months, but can you do it for years and years and years? And that's what you speak about Brandon. That's what we did at a young age.
So being from Detroit, were you out there playing pickup ball at all on weekends? Would you go out there just to kind of mix it up with some of the older guys just to get better?
Oh, I was always playing with older kids. So I lived in Detroit for a year, but I'm from Bay City, Michigan. Bay City, which is about an hour and 15. It's the Tri-City. So Bay City, Saginaw.
Some good hoops from Bay City.
I mean, unbelievable athletes.
Yeah.
You talk Bay City, not as much, but the surrounding areas like Saginaw, Flint. I mean, you go back to Trent Tucker, Glenn Rice, Andre Rison for football, Jason Richardson for basketball, Charles Rogers, if you remember those names.
Yep.
These were all Flint, Saginaw, and then Detroit. It's tons. So I never played with my age. Growing up, I think I was 8 years old playing with 8th and 9th graders. I was on that team. So and then. Even then, I remember being, 9, 10, playing lunchtime basketball with the grown men.
Right.
35, 40-year-old. They're coming in off their lunch break at their job. I'm really going. They're like, who's this little dude? I'm just trying to get a sweat. But yeah, that's kind of what, put that chip on my shoulder, so to speak, because I was, young. They would, they're not giving you any respect. But I kept coming back, and I kept playing day in and day out with them, and they respected that. So and that kind of put that what they call it, dog mentality in me, to where you just nothing really scares you. You're out there. You're not scared of anything. Fearless.
So growing up, did you have any older brothers to beat on you, or older sisters? Or?
2 sisters, so one older, one younger, but they weren't doing any basketball stuff. Trust me, they were in the stands watching me. You know,
that's
but
good.
they gave me a lot of support. But no, it was my dad. My mom supported it, but my dad really put the ball in my hand and told me what it takes, and I just took it and ran with it.
Was your dad a player growing?
He was high school and that was it. You know, it was funny because
Is he a good player though?
he was, but so he actually got back then. He went to Saginaw Arthur Hill High School, which was a great basketball program, and he actually got kicked off the team for having long hair. Yeah, so that was back in 70s or whatever, and he's not with us anymore. He passed away about 10 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
That's all good. But yeah, so he put the ball in my hand. He kind of lit that fire in me, and then I just took it from there.
And with your attitude on the court, you were such a hectic player. How'd your parents take that? Did they ever yell at you when you were really going at it? Or did they
loved it.
They supported it and just said go for it?
Because it was no bad intentions at all.
Yep.
It was just that fire in me. And I think if you watch professional sports, if you don't have that, you better be super athletic, super fast, super something.
Yeah.
You know, and I was never really super athletic. Was I athletic? Yeah.
You were pretty athletic.
Yeah,
I've seen you on the court. You're pretty athletic.
I've seen some pretty athletes. Trust me, I've seen big time athletes.
6'10", but you're
right. So but I had to bring something extra, and that chip on my shoulder, that passion, that fiery attitude, that kind of gave me an advantage. So
right.
Yeah.
And again, I always. Growing up playing against the older guys, they were always talking trash to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up, it was normal to me. So when people come like, you're talking trash, I'm like, well, that's what we do.
No way. You didn't talk trash on the court.
Still to this day. But it was, it came with it. It was, so I didn't think anything of it. So when people said something, I'm like, hey, you didn't grow up playing like that? So that's just how it was.
So tell us about the Madison Square Garden OT, 6 OT.
Yeah.
How was that adrenaline? I mean, holy cow. I was in Jamaica, and we were searching for a place that had a TV so that we could watch the game against UConn. And there was a bar in our resort, so we went up there. We had the whole bar cheering for Syracuse. And I think a lot of people had very expensive tabs at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
But it was crazy. It was back to back. And like you guys were, for the first 5 OTs, you were behind, and you caught up. And then there was another OT.
Yeah. A lot of trash.
I remember you jumping up on that table too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nothing. That wasn't planned at all. It was adrenaline. It was emotion.
Oh, I bet.
I wore the emotions on my sleeve, right? And again, like, how many times are you gonna be able to play in Madison Square Garden? I don't think people really know the significance of that arena.
Yeah, great.
Arena. Besides basketball. I mean, all the things that have gone on there. Michael Jackson, Muhammad Ali.
Yep. Ringling Brothers Circus.
Everything.
When I was 10, I'd go to Madison Square Garden to watch the circus.
Greatest arena in the world. I mean, and
boxing matches, everything.
And then you're in New York City, which is basketball heaven, basically. That's where it's the Mecca.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, the Mecca. And then on top of that, you had Syracuse, UConn, some of the 2 biggest rivals in Big East history, right? And you had Calhoun and Boeheim.
Yep.
You had myself, AJ Price, Johnny Flynn, Hashim Thabit, Paul Harris, Javed. So you had all those things coming into play, and then you're on ESPN. Millions of people are watching. You talk about you're in Jamaica watching it,
Yeah, and it was crazy because UConn was ranked 4 at the time, and you were what?
20th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were 20th.
So,
yeah. And again, throw the rankings out of the window when those 2 teams get together. It was
big rivalry always.
Yeah, and it started with Calhoun and Boeheim. They didn't really like each other. I mean, we could sugarcoat everything. They didn't like each other. That's just how it was. And when you have 2 competitive guys coming together like that, you're gonna bump heads. And we felt that. It came from our coach. They felt that from their coach. And so when we went out there on the floor, we wanted to go out there and fight for them. And that's what we did. And again, highly contested throughout the game. And no one thought it was going to go to 6 overtimes. But it was a testament to these two teams not giving up. You're gonna have to hear about this the rest of your life, and I'm glad we're not UConn, right? Because no one ever talks about UConn when you talk about the 6 overtime game. No one's gonna talk about the team that long.
I mean, that was such a good team. I mean, you had so many. You had Johnny Flynn, you had Andy Routens was on there.
Andy
Andy's on there. You were on there.
Renze Anawaku, Krzysztof Ojanot.
You had like 5 NBA players on there.
Yep, Rick Jackson.
Yeah, I can't remember who was on UConn. Like you say, nobody cares who was on UConn.
Right.
But they probably had 3 or 4
NBA
players on their team too.
No question. So it was just a highly contested game. Two major programs going at each other, battling, and at the end of the regulation when that shot went in, it was just adrenaline, emotion, Madison Square Garden, and then I got a chance to stand up on the scorer's table, and that was like an iconic moment, not only in Syracuse basketball history but college basketball history. We could go back to, I think it was 19, I don't even know, it had a 7 overtime game. There's no 3-point line, so I don't count it. But
that was like a 4-hour game, right?
It started at 9 and ended at 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was. They have the shrine at Madison Square Garden to this day.
Is it still there?
They have a whole place where you go up and see the game. I mean, the greatest college basketball game of all time, if you ask me. And it was just everything that was involved made it like that. We talked about the rivalries and where it was at, ESPN, even to the announcers. It was Sean McDonough, Jay Billis, and Bill Raftery.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, those are 3 all-time greats, So everything that was involved just made it, what it is today. And
so Sean probably had hair back then.
No, I don't think he did. I don't know if he ever had hair. I don't know if Sean ever had hair. But I mean, you asked those guys. That was, they said it live on air. This is the greatest game we've ever been a part of. And
interesting.
And so
the longest too.
The longest, yeah, absolutely. And then the next game we went into overtime versus West Virginia. And ended up winning that game in overtime. So and then eventually lost to Louisville in the championship against Rick Pitino with an unbelievable team as well.
You guys are probably pretty tired by then.
Yeah, but no excuses. Louisville had a great team. I think we lost by 8, but I mean that whole tournament run was pretty unbelievable. And then obviously, the game that stood out was that 6:02 game. It was
the best game ever.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. And of course, it was in Jamaica, but it was the best game. Right. So, what made you decide to not stay for your final year? You were ready?
It was a lot of stuff that came into play. I had both my daughters, so just being able to provide for them and just being young and the mindset where I am now, it wasn't where it was at back then. I'm a totally different person where I am now. So if I was at where I am now, I probably would have stayed, but that just wasn't the case, and I think in life.
Do you ever see AO or Harris or Jackson or any of those guys anymore?
I actually saw my daughter had a nationals track meet in Philly at UPenn. Every time I go to Philly, I go down and see Rick. Yeah. So I just saw him. AO's in Siena coaching with G-Mac and Black. Wow. So yeah, I'm still in touch with a lot of those guys. Everyone's doing really well.
Good. Yeah, that was like the dream team, I swear.
Yeah, AO was my roommate for all 4 years. So
Really?
Yep.
And what's he doing now?
He's coaching at Siena.
Oh, cool. Yep. Very nice.
Yep, G-Mac brought him in. So.
That's awesome. So did your daughters travel with you across the...
They did early on when they weren't in school. So they went to New Zealand with me and they went to Australia with me.
Aww.
Yeah, but they were probably too young to even know what was going on. But they got that experience.
That's amazing.
They could say they went overseas with Dad.
Good for them. Oh, great memories.
Absolutely.
And you were in the Mediterranean. That must have been stunning.
Oh,
to
yeah.
be living there.
Yep, I lived in Athens for a little bit. Yep. So, and I was able to I was in Israel and Afula, but I traveled throughout Israel and got to see Tel Aviv and Haifa and all those different cities. So, yeah, pretty blessed to be able to travel the world. Where I'm from, like I said, it's little. Bay City is 30,000 people, so a lot of people aren't even getting outside of the city. A vacation to them is going to Detroit, So lucky to be able to, really open my mind up from that traveling and get a new perspective on things, and which helps you. You need it because it's such a big world. Yep. You got to be able to see what's going on and put yourself in different cultures, and it was awesome.
I think it's one thing we missed that we didn't talk about on air here is the basketball tournament.
Okay. TBT, yeah.
And you had mentioned, I know that you won the 1 year. What year was it? That
2021.
2021. So not that long ago.
No, not that long ago. Yeah.
You were
34?
34.
Yeah, 34.
And I do remember I was watching that whole tournament, watching you play. You were playing like you were 18.
Yeah.
But
I appreciate it.
it was, the basketball tournament's a big hit around Central New York because we love watching our old SU players come back. And, any chance you've taken the last few years off, any chance you're coming back to play for them one of these days?
No chance.
No chance?
No chance. So this past summer, I was coaching. So I was on staff and that's as far as I'm gonna go. It's funny because I played 7 years in the TBT and I never played pro ball during any of those years. So everyone who's playing in that TBT is usually playing pro ball. And I'm a top 5 scorer all time in the tournament. So, but I did that not playing pro ball. So I was during that year. I was just, they were over there competing. I was out doing,
so you were fresh.
Camps and
fresh.
I was fresh, but still, it's like they were a little bit more fresh than me. They were, conditioned, but I was able to get in the gym and still keep my body right and still, again, like I think the attitude I have, the mindset when I get on the court, that helped me still be able to go out there and compete.
Fantastic.
Really cool. Really cool.
Well, thank you very much for coming today. It's so crazy because every time that we were in the dome and you scored, you'd hear Devo.
Yeah. Oh, I still hear it. I still hear Devo. Trust me.
I bet.
I love it though.
Thank you so much for coming in this morning and talking with us. It was great to learn more about you, learn more about your foundation. And we definitely will be there on November 22nd for the turkey drive.
November 22nd. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
Just energizing to see what you've done, and you've come back to our community. It's really just fantastic, and it's a great statement for Central New York that you're willing to come back here and contribute and do what you do. And like I say, everybody's going to start following you a little bit more now, and hopefully we can bring your foundation
for
to the next level.
I appreciate it. Well, that's what it's all about, connecting with great people and in the community and trying to help out as best we can. And, I appreciate you guys having me on. And yes, hopefully it takes it to another level for being on this podcast. I appreciate you guys.
My grandfather always used to say it takes a community.
Oh, no question. Absolutely.
There,
All
sir.
right, we're signing off from the 7th floor at One Lincoln Center with our favorite podcaster, Eric Devendorf. And it's a beautiful day, and we know Eric will be back. Maybe we'll have you back in a year, Eric, and we can update where the foundation is and what we're doing.
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you.